Welcome to another MAXQDA video tutorial. In this video, we'll show you everything you need to know about memos in MAXQDA 2020. Memos let you make note of important analysis thoughts, assumptions, questions, interpretations, background information, code definitions, and much more. You can attach memos to different parts of your project like little yellow post-it notes, and you can use them for a variety of different tasks. To start off, let's look at the different types of memos there are. Document memos can be attached to documents in the document system. These are suitable, for example, for case summaries or notes on an interview. In-document memos and in-media memos can be attached to a location within your data itself. For example, to make note of interesting features in the language use, ideas for the development of a theory, or contradictions in a case. In code memos, you can make notes on thoughts on and definitions of your categories. And then, in addition to all of these, there are also free memos. These are not attached to any specific element or place in your project. These are useful, amongst other things, for making notes of observations, assumptions about correlations, or analysis ideas that relate to your data or project as a whole. To create a new document memo, for example, or a memo for a document group or document set, simply double-click in the memo column next to the corresponding document name in the document system, or right-click on the corresponding document name and select Memo. The yellow memo icon next to the document name indicates that you've added a memo to this document. This memo can have any length you like, and you can edit the content like in a conventional Word document. For example, you can make the text bold or put it in italics, and you can paste pictures into them or create tables. And with so-called internal links, you can also create links to other memos. If you want to write a series of sequential notes, you can use this icon here to automatically insert a stamp with the current date and time. You can also assign one of these memo icons to the memo, and if you want, you can also give icons their own label to create your own set of categories of memos. Any changes you make to a memo are automatically saved when you close the memo, and if you now move your cursor over the memo icon, a short summary of the memo content will appear. You can also just as easily create memos for specific codes. To do so, either double-click in the memo field, or select Memo from the context menu. Code memos typically contain code definitions or theoretical references. You can also easily create memos for certain segments in your documents by selecting the corresponding segment, right-clicking on it, and then selecting Insert Memo for selection in the context menu. And you can also create such a memo by double-clicking in the memo field next to the corresponding segment. After this, the right side column of the document browser can display a preview of your memos. Following the same principle, the multimedia browser lets you insert memos at specific points in an audio or video file as in-media memos. Free memos, on the other hand, are not bound to any specific element, but can refer to your data or project as a whole. To create a free memo, just click on New Free Memo in the Start menu. The Start menu of MAXQDA's Memo Manager offers you all the options you need to create and manage your memos. When you click on Free Memos, the Memo Manager opens and lists all the free memos you have created so far. The memo icons work like a filter, so if you then click on Code Memos, all your code memos are also displayed in the list. The display in the Memo Manager is basically divided into two parts. On the left, all currently selected memo types are displayed in a hierarchical tree-like structure, and on the right, you can see either a preview of several memos, or you can see the single currently selected memo. In the tree structure, you also have the option of sorting the memos according to their icon type, their origin, the time they were last edited, or the person who edited them. In addition, the list can be filtered using this icon, or limited to memos assigned to currently activated codes or documents using these icons. And using the magnifying glass, you can search the entire list for a specific memo. Different memos can also be sorted into sets in the Memo Manager. To do this, right-click on Sets, select Create New Set, and now you can drag and drop the memos you want into that set. On the right side of the Memo Manager, you can edit the memo as you would when opening the memo in the usual way. Codes and coded segments can also be linked to the memo via drag and drop. This way, you can later right-click on a code to open all the linked memos, or click on the symbol here to see all the coded segments. With the Memo search, you can search for certain words that occur in your memos. The results of this search will be displayed directly in the Memo Manager, and their locations will be highlighted in the memos where they were found. By clicking on the Export icon, you can then export the memos in the left or right area of the Memo Manager, or all of the memos in the project as Word or PDF documents. Last but not least, we'd like to show you how to convert your memos into documents. If your memos accumulate in the course of your research project, and you end up with a lot of knowledge about the research process stored in them, it may make sense to code the contents of your memos. To do this, you can easily convert a memo into a document by right-clicking on it. The contents of the memo will then be converted into a separate document, which you can then code. And that's it! That was the basic overview of the memo functions in MAXQDA. We wish you all the very best with your project.